Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. As I mentioned in my previous little lecture, I am rather a felonious contributor to my viewers' information overload. So, if only as penance, yesterday I described a few of my favorite career tips from attempted distillation. Today, here are what I believe are my three most cited tips. The first is to follow the traffic light rule. Do you know someone who's long-winded? How do you feel about him or her? Chances are it's not good. Now consider the possibility that other people consider you long-winded. If you sense or even have been told that you're a Billy Blowhard or a Chatty Cathy, you could do worse than to follow what I call the traffic light rule. During your utterance's first 30 seconds, your light's green. During the second 30 seconds, the chances are increasing that the person would rather talk than for you to continue. And at the 1 minute mark, your light's red. Yes, there is the rare time you want to run a red light, for example, when telling a really interesting anecdote, one that you're really confident is the person's interested in. But most times, you risk boring or frustrating the person and appearing egocentric if you go beyond 1 minute. I used to think I merely needed to teach my long-winded clients the traffic light rule, but it turns out that at minimum they need practice. They don't have a good sense of when they've spoken for more than 30 or 60 seconds. So practice with a timer. The one in your phone, a kitchen timer, whatever. Sometimes, even that's not enough. Some people know they're long-winded but don't really care. A typical response, talking something out helps me, and if they're a little bored by it, that's no big deal. You can't force change on such a person. The best I've been able to do is to say, well, if you're willing to pay that potential price, okay. Usually that, and my not arguing with them about it, results in their monitoring themselves more carefully and reducing, but not eliminating, their blathering ways. The second of the three tips that I believe are most cited of mine is to beware what I call the Peter Pan syndrome. I didn't originate it, but I found out later that somebody else did, but I thought I did. This syndrome is so named because, per the Peter Pan movie and play, the person won't grow up. Some people just aren't ready to grow up yet. Even if they're already 30 or older, they figure they still have a long time to be a responsible adult. They may invoke excuses for their inactions such as fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success, or wanting to rebel against the system. But sometimes it's mere laziness. You would be wise to limit your involvement with people afflicted with the Peter Pan syndrome. They don't necessarily become cured of it very quickly. And not surprisingly, they can be frustrating, impeding your life, and even dragging you into codependency. Be especially vigilant if you're prone to rescuer fantasies. Many sufferers of the Peter Pan syndrome only claim to want to grow up. It's kind of cushier to just hang out. If perchance you are suffering from the Peter Pan syndrome, it might or might not help to remind yourself that you've been given the gift of life, and that imposes on you a responsibility to earn that gift. That means supporting yourself and contributing, if only in a small way, to your sphere of influence. All ethical work is contributory, but especially work that has a ripple effect. Teaching, librarianship, playing an even small role in the development or dissemination of a quality product or service. What also can help in conquering the Peter Pan syndrome is this following, my third and final tip. Stop looking back, take the next step forward. I grew up knowing dozens of people who seemed mentally healthiest and most productive rarely went to Holocaust remembrances. They focused on moving forward. Indeed, it was my dad who said, "Martin, never look back. Always take the next step forward." Each and every one of us has had crap happen to us. Our parent mistreated us, a spouse left us, a boss fired us. But I have had the privilege of being career coach to 5,700 people, including some of the most successful people on earth, as well as to some real strugglers. And one of the key differentiators, in addition to intelligence and drive, is that the successful ones, after quickly revisiting a trauma to identify any lessons to be learned, are far more likely to follow my father's advice. Stop looking back, take the next step forward. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko. Feel free to give us a thumbs up or if needed a thumbs down. Write a comment, hit the share button and share on your social media. Hit the subscribe button. And in any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.